Chapter 11 Journey to Medina. The Quraysh sent out horsemen in an attempt to track and find the messenger and Abu Bakr. A huge ransom of 100 camels was set for the capture of the messenger. They journeyed to the cave of Mount Tawr, just outside of the city, to seek refuge. Upon arriving, Abu Bakr wanted to enter the cave first to assess its safety for the messenger. Meanwhile, back in the city, Abu Bakr's son listened to Qurayshi discussions and reported back to his father and the messenger the latest developments. As he went back and forth between the locations, the son herded a flock of sheep with him to cover his footsteps. Ali was instructed to return money deposits that various people in the city had entrusted with the messenger for safekeeping. It was ironic that while many people at the time did not want to accept the message, they did trust the messenger with their own wealth. Some of the Qurayshi men did manage to arrive just outside of the cave, and their voices could be heard by the messenger and his friend hiding within. Abu Bakr became incredibly frightened for the messenger's life. He said, "If any one of them looks down, he is sure to see us." "Be not afraid," the messenger reassured Abu Bakr in an unwavering voice. "Surely the Sublime is with us." It turned out that a spider had miraculously spun a web over the entrance of the cave. A pair of birds also settled at the mouth of the cave, nesting over their eggs. Approaching the entrance, seeing cobwebs and the undisturbed nest, the Quraysh determined that there must not be anyone in the cave. After they spent 3 nights in the cave, one of Abu Bakr's daughters, Asma, came from the city to give the messenger and Abu Bakr food. She realized that she had not brought a rope to tie the food supply to the camel's saddle. Asma improvised and used her own belt instead. For this act of sacrifice, the messenger fondly gave her the nickname, the Lady with 2 Belts. The messenger and Abu Bakr set out again with a travel guide, continuing their 300-mile journey to Medina. The Sublime revealed to the messenger, "Indeed, he who imposed upon you the book of truth will take you back to a place of return." The messenger had been promised a future return to the city. The Quraysh informed every tribe along the way to Medina about the reward of 100 camels for the capture of the messenger. The news about the messenger's broader efforts also spread across the peninsula. While the messenger and Abu Bakr were traveling, they were spotted by a man who reported their position to a particular tribe that included an individual named Saraka. With the desire to claim the ransom all to himself, Saraka turned to his clansmen and lied. "I have seen those people myself. They belong to such and such tribe, and they are only chasing a camel which has gone astray." Saraka, a famed warrior, took up weapons and pursued the travelers by horse. When he spotted the messenger and Abu Bakr, Saraka's horse inexplicably fell down. The horse got up and he rode on. At the moment when the travelers came into his view once more, his horse fell down a second time. The horse rose again, and Saraka rode on. The messenger and Abu Bakr came into sight a third time. Suddenly, Saraka felt his horse sinking in the sand. He frantically looked around and realized that his horse was caught in a patch of quicksand. It dawned upon him that he would not be able to gain the upper hand. Desperate, he shouted to the travelers and assured them that he would do no harm. They heard Saraka and approached him. He asked the messenger to write him a note which would serve as a token to recognize him at a future time. Abu Bakr wrote the note on his behalf. Saraka took the note and started to head back home. The messenger called him to ask, "What would you say, Saraka, if you were to wear the bracelets of the Emperor of Persia?" Saraka sputtered, "Khusru ibn Hormuz?" Khusru ibn Hormuz was the Persian emperor. The messenger said yes. Saraka returned to his tribe and concealed the position of the messenger and his friend. He reassured them that the messenger was not in the direction from whence he came. As they journeyed on, Abu Bakr and the messenger came upon a woman whose husband had taken their flock of sheep out to graze. One sheep was left behind and was not producing milk because of the drought. The messenger and his friend greeted the woman and requested permission to approach the lame sheep. With her consent, the messenger passed his hand over the sheep's udder. He then invoked the name of the Sublime and put his hand on the sheep's udder. which filled with milk before their very eyes. The two travelers drank until they were full, and left the astonished woman with a sheep full of milk. When the woman's husband returned, he asked her what had happened. When the wife related the recent events, the husband understood. This must be the man that the Quraysh are opposing. Near the end of their journey, the messenger and Abu Bakr arrived just outside of the city of Medina. They stayed there for a few days. A place of prayer was built in the vicinity. At the outskirts of Medina, the messenger gave a talk just before the Friday prayer where he said, "Spread peace, feed food, bind the ties of kinship together, and pray in the night when others are sleeping. And if you do those things, you will enter paradise with peace." The messenger and his friend traveled a few more miles until they reached a place where several of the believers visited in the mornings, hoping that they would be the first to greet the honored travelers. Close by, a Jewish man had climbed a tree in his orchard and was the first to spot the approaching messenger and Abu Bakr. The man exclaimed, "Your wealth has come." Although the messenger was carrying virtually nothing with him, the man was referring to the greater good that came with his arrival. The Jew gave the messenger and Abu Bakr 2 white robes, which they accepted and wore. They looked strikingly good even after their long immigration. As the messenger and Abu Bakr were about to enter Medina, some of the messenger's distant relatives came out singing to welcome him. Many of the influential people in Medina insisted that he honor them by being a guest at their home. Some began grabbing the messenger's she-camel and struggling to take control of her reins, in hope that he would go with them. "Let her go," the messenger said, gesturing to his camel. "She is under a command from the Sublime." As the throngs of people made way for the camel, it raised its head and began to walk through the streets of Medina. It paused at several houses and passed an intelligent glance over the neighborhoods of the new city. The people of Medina anxiously awaited, wondering where the camel would eventually stop. They followed it hopefully until the camel arrived at a place and gently sank to its knees, content. The messenger asked the people, "Who owns this place?" The people said, "It is owned by 2 orphans, Sahal and Sahel." The 2 boys were part of a tribe to whom the messenger's late mother was related. The messenger said to Sahal and Sahel, "I would like to buy this land." Sahal and Sahel eagerly offered, "We want to give it to you, O messenger." The messenger refused. They then agreed on a price. This would become the site of the messenger's home in Medina and a place of prayer for all. Now, at the age of 53, the messenger supplicated, "O Sublime One, just as you made me love the city, make me love Medina or even more. O Sublime One, bless this city, take the fever that is here and take it away." There had been a fever which had gripped the people and caused illness in Medina. Shortly after the messenger's arrival, it dissipated and did not return to Medina. The messenger asked for the location of the local marketplace. The people told him that it belonged to the Jewish merchants of Medina. Upon learning this, the messenger and the followers established their own marketplace. Amidst the blistering heat of the dry season, the messenger and his followers gathered tree trunks, palm leaves, and beaten earth to begin building the place of prayer in Medina. As the walls were raised and the roof thatched, the followers chanted with great gusto at the construction site. It was believed that there would always be a niche of paradise in this place of prayer until the final hour, the day of judgment. The messenger created a treaty with the Jewish people in Medina, whereby the Jews could maintain their own religion according to the Torah, coexisting and cooperating with the followers as neighbors. Some of the Jews converted to become followers, but many did not. The messenger made it clear that there was no compulsion in matters of faith. Further, he vowed that if any of the Jews or followers were unjustly oppressed, he would provide them protection regardless of faith. The messenger and the Jews signed the treaty. Like a ray of light that slowly breaks through the clouds and grows to reveal the sun in its full glory, the words and lifestyle of the messenger enlightened far-reaching corners of the peninsula. Drawn to the light, war-torn tribes learned to put down their swords and began to mend as they, too, accepted the faith.